That's exactly what I was worried about. Ooh, I'm glad I scanned this before I did this. Oh no. Shoot. The lesson here is don't use Mod Podge on top of gouache.
So in the past, if something like this were to have happened, I probably would have just given up. But at this point, I had spent way too long on this painting, and I didn't want to trash this video, so I decided, let's try and fix it. The first thing I did was cover over the entire painting with a layer of clear gesso. And this was to make the canvas surface paintable again, because I don't think paint would have stuck to that Mod Podge. And then I wanted to do the base in watercolor this time, because from the first go around, I kind of learned that I'm not a huge fan of working with acrylic paint. It stresses me out a little just with how fast it dries and then you can't reactivate it. So then it's more about, you know, the paint on the palette. I don't want all of the paint on my palette to dry up before I have a chance to use it because I don't like wasting paint. So I wanted to do this underpainting in watercolor, and I was going off of the guidelines of the original acrylic underpainting that I had done from the first go around. But it is interesting to see how the painting changed from the first take to the second take, even though I was just painting over top of it and I still had the basic guidelines. One thing you might be noticing is that all of these clips are in real time. I decided to try something new with the editing of this and not speed anything up, just have all of the real-time strokes. And it means you see less of the overall process, but you get a better look at the bits and pieces of it rather than, you know, just seeing everything flying by on the screen super fast and not really necessarily being able to tell what's going on. And I think I like this editing style a little better than just having everything sped up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Which editing style do you prefer? Do you prefer if I speed it up so you can see more of the overall process, or do you like having the little real-time clips so you can see better the details as they come? I don't know. I definitely had some trouble with her hands the second time around. I think that the first hand turned out better than the second one. Oh well, what can you do? So at this point, I have finished my watercolor underpainting on this version, and I'm starting to build up the gouache details. And the more that I've been working with gouache and learning how to use it and manipulate it in the way that I want, the more I like it. I'm really starting to get used to the gouache that I have, and unlike acrylic, I really like that you can reactivate it on the palette, so I don't feel like I've wasted a whole bunch of gouache when I've got a bunch of leftover paint. Obviously though, the reactivatability of gouache is kind of a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, you could reactivate it and it's easier to work with, but on the other hand, you can reactivate it and very easily destroy your painting like I did. So yeah, have to figure out some other way to seal this painting other than Mod Podge, because I've certainly learned my lesson on that one. Probably some sort of a spray varnish. I don't know, how do people normally like seal their gouache paintings? People probably don't normally paint gouache on canvas though. I really wanted to do this on canvas though, because several years ago, like 2 years ago. Yeah, just 2 years ago, I got this like 5-pack of 5x7 canvases from Michaels, and they've so far just been sitting along with all of the other unused supplies, and I want to start to use them. That's a big goal of mine recently, is I have all of these art supplies that I've just sort of been collecting, and I want to actually use them. And so this is me trying to use up all my mini canvases. I have a bunch more even smaller canvases. So I might be doing a little teeny weeny canvas challenge type thing in the future. We'll see. I do really love the way that I was able to build up the gouache here, just with the white, the lighter parts blending into the darker parts. It's very satisfying to me, and I especially like the way that the girl's face turned out. I know that's kind of a strange detail to focus on because her face is so small, because it's a very small surface and it's more than just a face. But I'm really, especially her nose and her lips are just like, I'm really proud of myself for that. I don't know how I managed to pull that off, but it looks great. And you may be wondering, what kind of a creature is that? It looks like a fox, but you're giving it spots like a deer, and it's kind of got legs like a deer. Well, my friends, that is a fox deer. It does not exist in real life. It's just sort of a creature that I made up in my head, and I like it. And I am probably gonna draw more of them in the future because it's cute. It's like, you know, it's got like the little foxy points, but it also has little cute little spots like a deer, and it's just, I don't know, I like it. And the girl might be a mermaid, but they're in the clouds. I don't know. I kind of just liked this whole fantastical, magical quality that this scene has, and there aren't really a whole bunch of answers for why, but it's there. Anyway, that's the finished painting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope at the very least this might encourage you to, if you feel like you may have ruined a painting, go back and see what you can do to fix it or redo it. Honestly, I like the way this came out the second time than the first time, and I would never have gone back and redone it if I hadn't ruined the first one. Like Bob Ross says, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.